Welcome back to Ask Dr. Clarke. Today's topic is this: my spouse won't defend me with my adult child. I'm getting a lot of questions about adult children, and mom and dad are not together on the program, and that's a problem. By the way, if you have a question you'd like to ask me in one of these videos and have the answer in one of these videos, email it to me directly, David E. Clarke, PhD, that's Clarke with an E, David E. Clarke, PhD @gmail.com. Be happy to answer. After 35 years in practice as a clinical psychologist, Christian clinical psychologist, I've heard about every question that can be asked, and I'm telling you, I'll have an answer for you. Hopefully a biblical, solid answer. And if you want a more in-depth conversation about your particular issue, your particular crisis, you can do a 45-minute phone advice session with me. I'm doing more of these than I am in-person sessions these days from people across the country, even some foreign countries. That's easy to do. Again, you just have to email me. David E. Clarke, PhD.com, as I just said. And hey, actually, that's the website, David E. Clarke, PhD @gmail.com. Just email me directly, and I'll tell you how it works, and we can go from there. It's all explained on the website, which is davideclarkephd.com. But just email me directly, and we'll set it up. Now, today's question: can you explain why a parent needs to defend his spouse? Yes, I can. Here's the actual scenario. My adult child verbally attacked me, and my husband said nothing. These verbal attacks happen regularly. See, here's the real thing. One time, not good. Many times, really not good. These verbal attacks, she says, happen regularly, and my husband says and does nothing. Very common scenario. Here's my answer. Biblically, your spouse is your number one human priority. More important than your children. In fact, it's not even close. No one else should be close to your spouse. That's God's plan in the Bible. What that means is, unless your spouse is mentally ill or narcissistic or a sociopath or in serious sin, your job is to immediately support and defend your spouse against anyone, including an adult child who attacks her or him, including an adult child. As I said, it doesn't make a difference who it is. If you fail to defend your spouse when she is attacked and disrespected by an adult child, you are a sinner, and you are a wimp. You are a sinning wimp, and you're doing a lot of damage. So if you have a spouse who will not defend you against an attacking, disrespectful adult child, now in this case it's a child, adult child, could be anybody, but an adult child, set up a meeting with your spouse, just you and your spouse. Nobody else in the house, just you and the spouse. And you're going to make a one-way presentation, a one-way statement. This is a monologue, it's not a dialogue. And before you start, you'll say, I have some things to say. I'm going to make a very brief statement of a couple of minutes here. I just want you to listen, okay, and take it in. We're not going to talk about it now. I don't want to hear any response. Just think and pray about it and then get back to me. So literally, when you make the presentation, you will just walk away. We want to get around the defensiveness, and I can't believe you'd say that, or interruptions. We don't want to do that. In fact, I would recommend you write out what you're going to say here. So if there are interruptions or he won't listen, you simply hand it to him and walk away. All right. Here are the facts you're going to share with your spouse in this first meeting. Number one, when you don't defend me, and again, you've written it out, and I recommend you write it out and read it. When you don't defend me, you damage me. That's the first thing. I'm wounded, I'm humiliated, I'm disrespected by you. Second, when you don't defend me with our adult child, you damage our marriage. You betray me. You destroy my trust in you. You destroy my respect for you. Eventually, you'll destroy my love for you. In fact, that's already happening. You have to be honest. I'm sure it is. 3, you continue. When you don't defend me, you damage my relationship with our adult child. You allow our child to harm me without consequences, so he has no motivation to treat me differently. When you side with our child, he won't want to heal our relationship. 4, if the person's still listening. When you don't defend me, you damage our adult child. He'll think what he did to me is okay. He won't work on his personal issues, the issues that are behind his anger and disrespect. It isn't about me and him, it's about something else, but he won't get to that issue if you don't defend me. He will treat others with the same disrespect, and that's exactly what will happen. Friends, bosses, girlfriends. 5, when you don't defend me, you sin. The Bible teaches that I am your number one human priority. You ought to always protect and defend me and meet my needs. You can read Genesis 2:24, Ephesians 5:25 to make this point. So you make these points, you ask your spouse to think and pray about them and talk to you with his response when he's ready. then walk away. You're not going to bring up these points again. All right, the nagging, the constant, no, that doesn't work. In fact, it creates resistance. You're going to make a statement, and that's going to be it. Now, if your spouse does not get back to you, common scenario, or tells you he disagrees and he will not defend you, and it's your fault, okay, now it's time for tough love. Time to email Dave Clarke at David E. Clarke, PhD, Clarke with an A, David E. Clarke, PhD at gmail.com, and let's set up a phone advice session, and I'll give you a specific ongoing strategy of tough love, probably based on my book My Spouse Wants Out, but I have to get the particulars. You're going to have to do some pushing back and get his attention, and hopefully save your relationship with your adult child. If you want to support our ministry for hurting people and marriages in crisis, subscribe to my YouTube channel, tap the like button, and leave a rating and a review. And again, if you have a question for me, email it to me, davideclarkephd@gmail.com.